Hello guys and welcome to Survival Russia. So today we're gonna have fun with lighters because sometimes when I use ferro rods or other ways of making fire than the notoriously unreliable lighter, then you get some funky comments and you might also get that. I actually had some other plans for today, but this is gonna be it. Fun with lighters versus ferro rod, magnesium blocks, whatnot, and I'm gonna demonstrate exactly why the lighters are unreliable or potentially unreliable anyway, and why I do not use them. And maybe this will be useful for you in an argument or something, or not argument, but like discussion or something about why not using lighters. My claim is here that lighters, they work of course, but they work only in ideal conditions, right? So I would imagine we all know the frolic breakfast, right? The stuff that Nestle makes that you can eat with milk on and so on. Have you ever wondered why they have a rabbit as like a logo or what you can call it? You know what I mean. And the frolics, they look exactly like this, like rabbit shit. See, what we're gonna have to fix first is this sling here. It's a really awesome sling. I got it a long time ago actually from the Siberian guys, the boot makers and so on. And the cool thing about it is that it doesn't have any metal buckles or anything like that. We have a little piece of leather here put down in a hole, and that works really great with the traditional sling swivels here. But when you go all Forrest Gump tactical like me here with the paracord and so on, you can see it doesn't work that well. So what I want to do is I want to drill another hole and slide this little thing here up through the hole here, and it should fix the problem. I would also really like to thank the channel sponsors and so on, because I have shamefully have been forgetting about that, because I'm not really back in the game of making videos. There's always so many things I want to tell and show and this and that, so I forgot the very important guys who actually support the channel on PayPal and Patreon. I think last week I got 11 new patrons alone, and that is really awesome, because YouTube is a little bit hard at the moment. I've not been making a video crying about how hard it is to be a YouTuber, but it's not super easy at the moment, so thank you very much guys. I appreciate it a lot. So as I said, we're also gonna have some fun with lighters and ferro rods and so on today, because I had a gentleman commenting on my video where I'm making the flint and steel fire in the rain down there, that ferro rods are for storing in the car for 30 years, and lighters, they are super awesome, and they are just as reliable as a ferro rod, and they're just as good even when you have frozen fingers and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna show you a little bit about this today, because it's definitely not how it is. Problem solved. As I said, this is a really cool system. This works really well. It's of course super silent. And silence is important in many cases. So here we have another anthill dug out by a bear. They like that. So I guess that this will be as good a place as any to start to work a little bit with the lighters and the ferro rods. I have two quality cricket lighters with me today. They are not adjustable. Some are, these are not, but they both work. And I keep them in my pocket to heat them, because lighters, they need to be warm, right? Today the weather is changing all the time. It's raining, snowing, sunny, windy, not windy, and blah blah blah. I also have this ferro rod magnesium block combo with me. You have most likely seen it many times before. But the first sort of like problem, which is not really a big problem, but yeah, lighters, them you store in the pocket or somewhere, right? And the gas can accidentally be discharged. I know there are ways to prevent this from happening, sort of, but that's a risk anyway. Ferro rods here, they can be secured to anything. I even have another one, smaller one here on my belt. It's not going anywhere. These handles here, they are pretty sturdy. I mean, I've used these in all weather, all temperatures. I have been sleeping on them while they've been attached to my belt and so on, and so far they've not fallen off or anything like that. No cracks in them or anything like that. In the name of science, I have brought with me a scientific piece of birch bark from my home. It's dry, it's heavy duty, it's nice, and it's easy to light, both for lighters and for ferro rods. As said, in optimal conditions or perfect conditions, the lighter works very well, but you can see even it feels like there's no wind. Yeah. But the birch bark is on fire, right? Birch bark ferro rod. Scrape a little. Same result basically. But you can say the ferro rod was a little bit slower. Maybe not really. But it's not really important, is it? I mean, does it take 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds? As long as you get fire, it's not really a problem, right? I used the spruce twigs. I used spruce twigs the other day to make the charcoal flint and steel fire. Can the ferro rod light this? Most likely not without the magnesium and blah blah blah. We'll get into that later. But to see if the lighter can, maybe it can, maybe it can. It should be able to do it, of course. But we still have flame. So the lighter can of course light the spruce twigs, no problem, very comfy. But I have actually tried with very damp spruce twigs that the lighter didn't work very great. The small twigs, they started to burn, but then they just went out, so to speak. I could of course get the spruce twigs going with the ferro rod and some birch bark. I could use some fat wood from the spruce or from the pine. I could use some resin or gum or whatever it is on the spruce trees and so on. It just takes a little bit longer, but it will give me fire. The first problem I have with a lighter is that it's a mechanical device. It has this little tumbler here. It has this little activator thing here. It has a small valve down here. And some lighters, if you have to really burn them for a long time to get something going, these two plastic ears holding the tumbler in place have a tendency to melt, and then the tumbler here will just say pooh, and that is not great. But let me get one thing out of the way, because on my little discussion with the gentleman commenting on my video, he said that but a lighter will work just as fine in cold weather with frozen fingers or frostbitten fingers, as he said himself. And this I can tell you, that is not true at all. With very cold fingers, you do not want to make this action here, because I have tried that and that's not funny. Second of all, they have to be kept warm to work in cold weather. Otherwise, the flame will burn very, very low. Thirdly, in very cold weather, the little valve inside the lighter here, the little bitty valve there that lets out the gas, it can get stuck from the gas. I think the gas will freeze us up or something. I tried this 2 times actually. When using the lighter in the very, very cold weather, when I let go of the activator here, it just kept burning, and it kept burning and kept burning. That means that if I did not notice that, I would just put it in my jacket or put it back in the mess kit or something like this, where I store my lighters so they do not accidentally lose their gas and so on. And then the lighter will simply just be empty, because I didn't notice it, right? That will also never happen with a ferro rod. But the real problems also with the lighter starts in the wet, so let's move on and do some wet testing of lighters. I will also show you how to make a lighter work again after it has been completely soaked in water. Let's see how it works with wet hands. I actually remember once a few years ago in winter where I tried to use a lighter up at one of my campsites, and I had a tiniest bit of snow on my fingers, and that was enough to put the drum here out of service for a while. And we have our scientifically calibrated piece of birch bark here. Also, you can have so wet fingers that your fingers actually are wet. I can show you footage here where my fingers would have qualified for being soaked. I mean, and when you're that wet, you cannot even wipe your hands really, and it doesn't really help a lot if you wipe your hands, right? We'll see. Works? No, it doesn't. Try a little bit closer up. It comes on sometimes, or sometimes it doesn't. It's a little bit wet, but I can still get it going, you can see. But it's sort of like the reliability dropped a little bit, you can say, right? With a ferro rod, of course, doesn't matter at all. So how does it work? When everything is soaking wet, when we accidentally drop our fire lighting tools into the water, or maybe I was having a lighter in my pocket in the footage you just saw, it would have been soaking wet. Well, let's see what happens. Ferro rod, not fully submerged, lighter. Let's see if the ferro rod straight away would create any sparks. Nope. Ah, there you go. Boom. We have fire. That was pretty fast. Let's try the same with the lighter. I'll be darned. It doesn't work. That is not too great. So what are we gonna do? Let it sit in the sun for an hour and wait for it to dry out or what? Let me adjust the camera and I'll show you how you get this thing here to work again. So what you wanna do is, you wanna take your little lighter here, shake it as much as you can, blow a little air on it and so on, and then you start to roll it on your trousers here, which of course gonna dig in to the microscopic ferro rod that we basically have as a striker mechanism or ignition method here. Also gonna wear a little bit on your trousers, but you can of course also light a fire with your ferro rod and then dry your lighter. They will build up a lot of what you can say slurry or something like on the wheel here on the tumbler, right? So you can try and turn it the other way. Getting a little spark now. Hey, there you go. So it's possible to get the lighter back into to functioning condition, but you can see the reliability is affected. It kinda works. What you would expect from a lighter in the field, right? I don't know if this goes on the cam, but we have an awesome micro shower out there. It's very tiny and fluffy. Wow, that is actually snow. There must be some of the last snow in the whole forest. Amazing. So my personal opinion here is that lighters are definitely for backup and ferro rods or ferro rod magnesium block combos. They're for primary use. Maybe if you never used a ferro rod, just have it for backup. You don't really know how to use it, you don't know the ins and outs, right? Also, I like to see the lighter versus ferro rod thing as a comparison between centerfire and rimfire cartridges, for example, right? Why use rimfire in combat when you have centerfire? Where this is of course centerfire, because this works all the time. Lighters, they have a lot of design features that makes them what you can say, prone to fail. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with a lighter. So this was my little demonstration of lighters versus ferro rods. Everything I say about the frost and wet hands and so on, I all based it on real life experience. There's no academic chit chat around here, right? So once again, thank you to you guys who decide to support the channel via PayPal, Patreon. Also you guys who decide to spend the 20-30 minutes watching the commercials. I appreciate it. Let's just say it like that. I really appreciate it. So check the links in the description. Share, subscribe, bell, like, and all that good stuff. And until next time, get out and train, get it done, and I hope to see you soon again, guys. Thank you very much for your time. You can of course also say that the worse the conditions get, the more unreliable the lighter gets. That's not really what we want, is it?